Hello, all of you beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the show. Today, I have a message for you from Mother Earth. Now, normally I write them down in my notebook and then I transfer them into my computer and then I read them off my computer to you. And I'm not going to bother with that because this is actually a pretty short and sweet message that came in. This is all about the pyramid and the vessel. So she was showing me what the pyramid and the vessel are really intended to be. The pyramid and the vessel are actually sacred geometry. So if you look at sacred geometry, you'll see that these different structures are, in fact, behind me is Metatron's cube. And if you look close, there's both a pyramid and a vessel in Metatron's cube. So actually very important parts of a lot of our sacred geometry. What has happened, however, on the planet is that the inversion, those who work for the contrast, if you will, have taken the meaning of this sacred geometry and inverted it from what it's really intended to be. So let's take a look at these. The pyramid represents the masculine aspect of prosperity. And what it's really intended to do is gather up all the nutrients, all of the prosperity from Earth. She gathers it all up and then sends it up to the top, the point of the pyramid, where each one of us are at the top of our own individual pyramids, if you will. So it's all about gathering up the resources and bringing them up to each of us. Now, we also have what's called the vessel. The vessel is the feminine symbol for prosperity. It's about receiving from the heavens. So while the pyramid is about receiving from the earth, the vessel's receiving from the heavens. This is where the sunlight and the rain and all of that comes forward, what they call pennies from heaven, gifts from source that come down through this vessel. This is actually why we need to have bank accounts temporarily until we don't have those anymore, but bank accounts are in essence a vessel for receiving as well. It's a place where we can physically put our abundance as it arrives. The vessel also represents the tree of life. So if you think about a tree, it grows upward and outward, fruitful and multiplying. It grows like this. And the pyramid is shaped like the roots, where all the nutrients come up through the roots to feed the tree of life. So it's actually beautiful sacred geometry on behalf of the prosperity of all life on earth, the abundance of the earth giving to each one of the beings on the planet. Now, these two symbols have been manipulated and have been inverted to mean the opposite of what they are actually intended to be. So if we look at what I refer to as the patriarchal pyramid, so when fear came to the planet thousands of years ago, when all these patriarchies were created and all things feminine became reduced beneath the masculine, then all of our systems became more masculine, right? They became male dominated. So the pyramid now is used as a means of control. That's the way that it appears with everything. So, right, you have the pyramid at the top, and then you have the all-seeing eye at the top to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. And all of our systems are built with this pyramidal structure, with the guy at the top and then everybody else underneath it under his dominion. And we've also been sold this belief that there's trickle-down theory, right? Like the guy at the top is going to care so much for everyone in his domain of care, he's going to trickle down to everyone. Now, we know the trickle-down theory doesn't work. There are enough people that have woke up to that. They're like, yeah, that's not the way that it really works. The way that it really works, they're just not telling us, is that it's really about siphoning up all of the time and energy and resources of the people at the bottom to feed the guy at the top. This is why our systems have to change, because all of our systems, from politics to religion to business to all of it, right? It's all based, they're all based in this patriarchal pyramid. So these have to change, because right now it's all about the guy at the top controlling everybody else with the illusion of taking care of everyone else, but it's really about taking from everyone else to feed the people at the top. The other thing that's interesting is that the people who work for the contract, if you will, also know about the vessel, this growing upward and outward vessel, but it's invisible to the rest of us, or at least they keep it really well hidden. We can find it if we really go looking for it, and you can see, right, how there, each one of these have these money trees, and that they're growing upward and outward, fruitful and multiplying. So you have the guy that's at the top of the pyramid, and the empire he's created out of that. that's, you can find it, I think, with your end of year shareholder reports and things like that. But for the most part, it's pretty invisible. We have no idea how much money these people actually have because they share it back and forth between each other, and they have all these places where they can hide it, and they run it through trusts and foundations, so they don't pay very much taxes on it. So the amount of money they actually make and how big their empires really are is fairly invisible, and it's not talked about. We always see the pyramidal structure where the businesses are all laid on top of each other, but how thriving and prosperous their businesses are is kind of a mystery to most people. So the inversion knows how to use its sacred geometry for the control of humanity and to fill their own pockets. This is the inversion, again, of sacred geometry. They were actually meant to be about the prosperity and well-being for all life on Earth, not just for the few who happen to be at the top of that pyramid. So I wanted to share that with you. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because what we're going to be doing moving forward, this has been made very clear to me, is that we need to take back our sacred geometry and reinfuse it with its original intent. And the same thing with our words. We need to go back to what our words really mean, because our words were taken and inverted as well. So this is all about, again, taking back our planet, taking back our words, taking back our sacred geometry, taking back the masculine feminine balance, taking back what is rightfully ours as human beings, having a prosperous, loving human experience. And when we take fear and control out of that, and we start to recognize what our words really mean, what our symbols really mean, and taking back our power, then we can create the world we seek to create. So that's our message for today, taking back the original and true power of the sacred geometry of the masculine pyramid and the feminine vessel, and this beautiful marriage between the two that you see with the Metatron's cube behind me. Until next time, and as always, remember to shine your light so high others can't help but see their own light. And as always, get bold, be fearless, and live free.